Call a member for Port Stephens.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Wonderful things often happen in our schools because children are capable of the most amazing things. Today I make special mention of one such activity that I had the pleasure to witness in my electorate, Port Stephens. On Wednesday, 20 May 2015, I attended the 26th official opening of the Tea Gardens Public School, School Parliament. For the past 27 years, since 1988, Tea Gardens Public School has given its students a rare insight into the workings of the Westminster system and the benefit of experiencing democracy in action. But don't think for a moment that it's just a rebadging exercise of school captains to ministers. Tea Gardens Public School has taken it much further than that. Let me describe what I witnessed. Some of these should sound familiar to the members in the House. The opening ceremony commenced with the Sergeant-at-Arms asking all attendees to stand whilst the Speaker, clerks and Hansard reporters entered the House, also known as the school Cola. The usher of the Black Rod, who was garbed in a black gown wielding a beautiful wooden rod turned by the local men's shed, then sought entry. She then led the new ministers to the House, followed by the Shadow Ministers, Governor-General and Parliamentary Advisers. The Governor-General, also known as School Principal, Mr Mark Clemson, officially opened the Parliament, following which the minutes of the previous sittings were read and each of the ministers delivered a speech setting out their portfolio responsibilities and a report on latest activities. Congratulations to Prime Minister Cole Johnson, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Sport Paddy Nicol, Minister for Transport Shona Miller, Minister for Education Taylor Simmons, Minister for Building and Health Nathan Katz, Minister for Pupil Welfare Indiana McDonald, Minister for Special Events Mitchell Barr and Minister for the Environment William Markham. Each of the ministers revealed in their speeches a sense of responsibility and genuine care for their fellow students and school community as a whole. As the Parliamentary Advisor, also known as Year 6 teacher Miss Winnie, said in her speech, the children displayed many leadership qualities, particularly consideration and respect. The Shadow Ministers are Year 5 students, capably led by the Leader of the Opposition, Sophia Jeffries, and throughout the formalities, 180 honourable members, the student population, sat quietly and showed respect to their colleagues. You could say that there was a significant contrast between the behaviour of the honourable members at Tea Gardens Public School and those sitting in this place. During the formalities, I could sense that the honourable members were looking forward to something else, and it wasn't just recess. It was their opportunity to participate in democracy. When notices of motion were put, questions with and without notice were made, honourable members spoke for and against motions with gusto and genuine interest. One of my favourite notices of motion was calling on the government to approve the purchase of additional skipping ropes and hula hoops because there just weren't enough to go around when it was wet. Members supporting the motion spoke of the need for different length skipping ropes. Members against the motion spoke of the desire to save money for the longed-for school playground. Another motion was put to increase the amount of sport programmed during the school day. An honourable member spoke for the motion, saying that it was a mad idea and so awesome. Language that I would like to see being utilised more in this chamber. Motions passed by the House are raised to the Senate, otherwise known as the school staff. During the opening ceremony, the gallery was filled with parents, grandparents, the Deputy Mayor, Len Roberts, community members and former staff. I had the pleasure of meeting a very special former staff member who was in attendance, Mr Daryl Martin. Daryl Martin was a former school principal at Tea Gardens Public School. In fact, it had been as a result of a school excursion undertaken by Daryl with the school students to Parliament House in Canberra 27 years before that had been the genesis of the school parliament at Tea Gardens Public School. He was the school's first Governor-General. Daryl has attended every one of the 26 official parliamentary openings at Tea Gardens Public School since. I thank the current Governor-General, Senators, Ministers, Shadow Ministers and honourable members of the Tea Gardens Public School for their kind invitation to attend the official opening of their 26th Parliament. I commend the school for its commitment to ensuring its students have a voice and that opinions are voiced without fear or favour. In doing so, the school is ensuring not only that the students have a bright future, but that our community's future is bright, with a wealth of leaders and responsible citizens.
Thank you.